the all-new 2022 Brozz Recon. Well, you may have seen this bike in other videos before, but not with this setup. This is the first year you'll find this dual sport come with a 21-inch front and 18-inch rear setup, stock with knobbies as you buy it. First, let's get the important part out of the way. Let's talk about cost. Well, this bike comes in at $19.99 plus a $300 shipping fee to US residents. Also, I have a code here and the link below to buy it from Peace Sports. If you type in MotoOff, you will save an additional $50 off your purchase. This motorcycle is 49 state street legal. With purchase, you get a signed bill of sale and a certificate of origin. Well, I was able to get it legally on the road with no questions with one trip to the DMV here in New Jersey. For those of us who have a short attention span, instead of watching the entire review, maybe you want a basic summary straight away, a TLDR if you will, well, here you go. Who do I think can benefit from this motorcycle? A bunch of people, but 5 types of people come to mind straight off the top of my head. Number 1, well, is any person that's looking to try to save money. In today's time, gas prices are super expensive, and this is an inexpensive motorcycle that will cost you hardly nothing on car insurance and provide 60 to 70 miles per gallon with a 3-gallon tank on a very comfy seat. So it's a pretty solid bike for that. My one disclaimer is you don't want to take it on the highway for long periods of time with the current sprocket setup, simply because it's a small displacement engine and it only has a 5-speed transmission. The second person is the guy that wants to learn how to dual sport or even learn how to ride a motorcycle in general. As I said, this thing is inexpensive and it won't throw you off if you're a new rider with lack of throttle discipline. Basically, that means if you goose the throttle, you hit the gas too much, there's little to no repercussions with this motorcycle. And also, you won't care if you just beat the crap out of it. The third person is someone waiting for a 300L or a similar new model to come in stock. When I talked to Jeff from Peace Sports, where I got this bike from, he said he had 40 in stock and he's waiting for a ton more that are on their way. So you can get your hands on a street legal dual sport right away, and then if another bike comes, you could even sell it afterwards for a little to no loss. The fourth person is somebody who wants a spare bike. Maybe you have a friend you want to tag along. Maybe you just want a different riding experience. Once again, this is a capable, inexpensive motorcycle that you will not care if your buddy drops it in the rocks or in the mud. And yeah, it's not the fastest bike, but for your friend, they'd be super happy just to be able to tag along with you and won't care so much about the horsepower of the motorcycle that they're getting lent to them. And the fifth person, off the top of my head, would be the person that has already a road bike and they want something else to explore trails, maybe a hunter, or even like a doomsday prepper can appreciate this thing. I mean, you have a super simple, air-cooled, single-cylinder, low-compression carbureted engine. So simple, you could probably even fix it on the trail with the use of, or combination of, duct tape, zip ties, and JB Weld. It comes with a back rack for luggage or supplies, and it has a backup kickstarter for when your battery goes flat. Coupled with this thing is so quiet that if you're driving this around, people won't even know you're around. So if you're any of those people, I think this bike is better than great for you. To compare it to my 300L, well, I'd have to say it's about 1/3 the price and probably about 2/3 as good. And that comes all the way down to horsepower, handling, etc. So you're actually getting a lot for this price tag. Now, the big thing that will have a lot of people apprehensive right off the bat is that you have to assemble it. That's a good thing. You don't have to pay extra dealer fees. Let me tell you, it's easy. It's the front tire, rear shock, handlebars, and dash. Besides that, a few odds and ends. And if you know what you're doing, it'll take you about an hour to 90 minutes. If you don't, then maybe it could take 2 to 3 hours. I'd say the biggest thing is knowing what bolt goes where. I recognized this as soon as I took it out of the box. And I'll make a full video on how to assemble this bike that will show you how to lay your bolts out in the same way as mine and then reference that bolt layout so you know where every single bolt goes every step of the way. I recorded the whole assembly process and it's pretty easy. I think it's easy for anyone to do. Plus, it helps you learn about your bike, and this is a good bike to turn wrenches on. So simple. This bike does have some really cool features. As I mentioned before, the rack is really nice. Usually that's an additional $100 price tag on a new dual sport bike. The backup kickstart is a cool feature. Braided brake lines, LED indicators front and rear, gear indicator and fuel indicator on the dash. That is more than a ton of dual sports that are sold today at 3 times the price. And it's a pretty good looking bike, I must say. It comes in green or tan, and I chose the green. So how does it ride? Let me say, going into this, I didn't know exactly what to expect, but I can say this bike exceeded my expectations. Man, these Chinese bikes have come a long way since I used to see them years back. Yeah, sure, a lot of them share the same engine, which this engine is actually really reliable. It's actually a modified Honda clone after all. But the big thing is the fit and finish and quality in other parts. Sure, there's things I would upgrade on this motorcycle, but being as it is, it really doesn't feel like a $2,000 motorcycle. Alright, so this would be a good review without testing this thing off-road, so let's put it through its paces. One thing I noticed that's really cool about this bike is it has a skid plate, and I'm not even saying like, it's a decent skid plate, it's not like a potato chip one like the one I pulled off my Chinariders. But the cool thing about it is to where the rear shock mounts, it's not a linkage, so it mounts above, which probably gives you less suspension travel, but at the same time, it makes your ground clearance the lowest part this skid plate. So this thing has like great ground clearance. I'll have to put a little picture up here to show. But now, we're gonna test her off-road. Let's go through some shit. Alright, so far, so good. Had to tweak the carb a little bit, but she feels good. These knobbies are definitely nice. Running through like 57 spider webs, but that's alright. Oh jeez. Maybe I should have cleared my path ahead of time. Look at this guy. Get down. Maybe I'll cut that out so you guys don't have to see the boringness of it. I haven't been down this trail in a while. Well, it's actually a ditch. And during the winter time, it's pretty much inaccessible. Alright, here's a test. Let's see if she can... Oh yeah, tracked her right up that. Very nice. There's a next little root climb over here. See if we got good traction with these tires. Nice. Alright. Let's test out some hills and ditches. Up we go. Some ditches here, test out the suspension. Not bad. Yeah, this thing's doing pretty good. It's got traction where I need it. The seat is super comfortable for when I feel like sitting. Now I stand a lot. The one thing I just noticed is when I was standing, my leg was hitting the kickstarter. So I just got to reposition the way I stand, or I'll take that kickstarter off. For anyone else, it'd be fine. Alright. It's a new trail. We haven't worn this one in yet. Let's give it a test. Gonna need some clutch modulation here. Follow the orange trees. Oh crap. Oh, okay. There we go. Down. Whew, this is a tight turn. Oh. Turn. Very nice. Handles pretty well. This is a tough one here. Let's see if we can get it. Ooh. Couldn't kick the back end out quick enough. And a vine captured my left foot. So it gave me this scary feeling of like pulling me off the bike. Alright. Okay. Cross that ditch, I guess. Yep, this looks right. Alright. Boom. Let's bomb that through there. There's a trail cam and a stand. So I believe we want to go that way. Uncharted territory. Just gonna beat her through the woods and see what happens. If I get lost, I have that spot pinned. Which, this stuff's getting thick. Yeah, it's a shame to scratch up this beautiful Brozz paint job here. But what is a test without some real struggles, right? So overall, this thing's doing pretty good. If you were a hunter and you're looking to find some trails, you could totally use this. Back across the ditch. We gotta make it around that log. I turned my idle up, but it seems that now she's warmed up and she's a little high. So let me turn it back down. Gotta love these carbureted engines. So easy to work on. We gotta get the quads back here to smash down some of this stuff. Oh, up we go. And this thing is so quiet. If you were like 20 or 30 feet away, you would not even hear me. Like, I can hear it because I'm on it. Oh, that's not the right path. It's that way. I can hear it because I'm on it, but besides that, you know what? Screw it. We got a dual sport. We don't care. Make our own path. All right. I'm starting to get used to this thing and able to throw it around. I mean, it's not quite the 300L or like the WR or anything like that, but it's not too bad. As I was saying, I feel like this thing, properly jetted, is about 2/3 as good as the Honda 300L, or 250L, whatever your flavor is. You can compare it to something like that. It's not quite as good, of course. It just doesn't have that power. You're talking 50% less horsepower, but at the same time, look at the price. And look at all the things you can do with this. Look what I'm doing with it. Alright, we're about to go through this ditch here. So, doing all this with this bike just shows. Shows what you can do. Let's take this trail. White trail. Alright, let's see. This way. Gotta watch out in this high grass. I don't know what trees have fell or what. This is fun. This definitely has an entertainment level to it. I just find it fun myself riding different bikes. Oh, right over that. Oh, I accidentally hit her in the neutral on my boot. My boots are pretty big for standard foot pegs. But yeah, the ground clearance is amazing. Just hopped right over that. Let's see. I have a crossing over here. There's the white trail. I got off our trail. If we didn't tag this stuff, man, you'd be so lost. There's a big mud crossing right over here. Let's see if we can do it. Or if we get stuck. Yeah, this one is really deep. I have other footage of me going through this. It's crazy. Now it's a little drier now. So let's see if we can do it with this thing. Oh, yeah, sunk right down. But these knobbies, man, they drug us right through it. Good tires for the application is really a lot of times what you need. I mean, obviously, if you're driving this on the road all the time, you would swap these out eventually. But they're fun for now. Yeah, the ground clearance is so nice on this thing. Just pops over stuff. And there's another tree. There it is. Oh. Loft right over that thing. All this stuff has grown up. I gotta be careful here. Hidden in here somewhere is a giant log. Up there it is. Alright, let's drop down into the wastelands. Little ditch climb. Let's go for it. She did it. On my 240-pound body on it, it did it. Alright, there's an entrance to the trail. Right here. There we go. Firm turn. Up and over. Over. Around. Around. Heck yeah. Log. Not bad at all, I must say. Try that speed. Test the suspension over here. Like I said, I'm heavy. Ooh. So I'm trying to kick out my front tire. Right here. Bump, bump. Bump, 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 bump. Got some mud. Let's bomb it through. All right, not bad. Not bad at all. So overall, this thing's actually capable off-road. I mean, especially with those tires. I was able to go through mud, weaving out of trees, hit some whoops. It's not too bad. As I said, it's not going to blow your doors off, but we're talking, what, 15 horsepower and some less expensive suspension. But it's definitely a fun ride. as I hit all these bumps. Overall, the Brozz did really well in the woods. I know I didn't go through any really heavy mud or any hill climbs, but what I did today is what a lot of people want to do with their dual sports. Go through some woods trails, I hit some single, I hit some double, did a couple little ditch climbs. This is the kind of stuff that a bike like this is good for. Plus, this is skill teaching. These kind of things can make you a better rider, especially if you're waiting on another bike. So overall, I was pleasantly surprised. But I will have some more Brozz Recon videos as time goes on, trickled in with my normal content. I think this is a viable option for the people that I mentioned in the beginning of the video, and if you watched this long, I really appreciate it and thank you. I'm looking forward to see what kind of upgrades I can do and do some road tests with this thing, pop open the carburetor, etc. Little things. But until then, my name is Andrew, and this is Motorcycles Off-Road. Thanks for watching, guys.